everyone! Welcome back to Knowledge Chronicle.
Today, we're diving into one of the most fundamental yet fascinating processes of life, sexual reproduction in organisms. Whether it's a tiny algae or a mighty lion, a flowering plant or a human being, sexual reproduction is what ensures the continuity of life across generations. But how does this complex process actually work? What makes it so important? Let's explore. What is sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is a biological process where male and female gametes, that is sperm and egg, fuse together to form a zygote, which then grows into a new organism. This process can occur within the same individual or between two different individuals of opposite sex. Unlike asexual reproduction, where offspring are identical copies, sexual reproduction produces genetically unique individuals. This genetic diversity is what drives evolution and adaptation in nature. Sexual reproduction is complex and unfolds in three major stages: pre-fertilization events, fertilization, and post-fertilization events. Let's break them down. Pre-fertilization events include gametogenesis. This is the formation of gametes, sperm in males and eggs in females. These gametes are haploid, meaning they carry only half the usual number of chromosomes. In some algae, the gametes look exactly the same. These are called isogametes, but in most organisms, gametes are heterogametes, clearly distinguishable male and female types. For example, in humans, the sperm is tiny and motile, while the egg is large and immobile. In plants, the male gamete is in the pollen grain and the female gamete is inside the ovule. Sexuality in organisms can be quite fascinating. Some species are bisexual, like earthworms and coconuts. They have both male and female reproductive organs. On the other hand, some species are unisexual, like cockroaches and papaya trees, where there are separate male and female individuals. Next, the gametes need to meet. Usually, the male gamete is motile and travels towards the stationary female gamete. In water-dependent organisms like algae and mosses, water acts as the medium for this transfer. In flowering plants, pollination helps the pollen reach the stigma. This can be facilitated by wind, insects, or animals. And in animals, specialized mechanisms ensure the male gamete reaches the female body, especially in dioecious species like humans, where the sexes are separate. This is the most critical step, the actual fusion of male and female gametes to form a zygote. When this fusion occurs outside the body, like in frogs or many fishes, it's called external fertilization. When it happens inside the female body, like in humans, birds, or flowering plants, it's internal fertilization. Interestingly, in some species like honeybees or turkeys, offspring can develop without fertilization, a process called parthenogenesis. The result of fertilization is a diploid zygote, the first cell of the new life. In fungi and algae, the zygote may go dormant, developing a thick protective wall until conditions are right. In animals and seed plants, it immediately begins development. This is where the zygote grows into an embryo through two key processes: cell division mitosis, to increase the number of cells; cell differentiation, where cells specialize to form tissues and organs. Oviparous animals like birds and reptiles lay eggs outside the body. The embryo develops inside the egg and hatches later. Viviparous animals like humans and cows carry the embryo inside the body and give birth to live young. This offers better protection and higher survival chances. In flowering plants, after fertilization, the zygote becomes the embryo, the ovule becomes the seed, and the ovary becomes the fruit. A classic example is the mango. The fruit we eat is developed from the ovary, and the seed inside comes from the ovule. Every organism goes through three major life phases. First, the juvenile or vegetative phase. This is the growth period before reproductive maturity. Second, the reproductive phase. This is when organisms are capable of producing gametes. And finally, the senescent phase, the aging phase leading to death. For example, Nila Kurinji flowers once in 12 years, while bamboo flowers once in 50 to 100 years, and then dies. In animals, reproductive cycles are controlled by hormones. In non-primates like cows and dogs, it's called the estrous cycle. In primates like monkeys and humans, it's the menstrual cycle. Some animals breed only during specific seasons, called seasonal breeders, while others breed throughout life, called continuous breeders. Sexual reproduction may be slow and complex, but it's nature's way of ensuring diversity, evolution, and survival. From flowers blooming in the wild to a baby being born, this biological dance of life connects us all. If you found this video helpful and interesting, don't forget, your one like, share, and subscribe will help us create more valuable content. See you in the next video, only on Knowledge Chronicle.